I want to take a moment today to kill two birds with one stone. A lot of people have been asking me, am I ever going to pick up one of the new Ruger 327 Federal Magnum LCRs? Well, I have picked one up and I've actually been shooting it quite a bit, which is why it's so filthy right now, but luckily it's a black cylinder, so you're not going to be able to see it, so don't pay attention to that for right now. The main point of this video today was to let everyone know that tonight is going to be my SHOT Show edition of my Shooting Left of Center podcast with gun websites and never enough ammo. But instead of just standing here and telling you it's going to happen, I thought I would do something while I was doing it, so you can hear about the podcast and see me make some small changes to my new Ruger LCR. First thing I'm going to do is change out the grip. Never really big fan of grips that have finger grooves. My fingers never line up perfectly with them. I always end up with like my second or third finger lapping right over one of the high points of the finger grooves. So I'm going to change that out. And I'm going to replace those Hogue grips that came on it with another pair of Hogue grips. These ones just don't have finger grooves. They're a little shock recoil absorbent. I forget what they call these. They're a little mono grip, but I don't know. I think they're called tamers is what I think they call them. But this is what I'm going to put on there. And as far as the podcast is concerned tonight, if anyone's got any questions regarding SHOT Show, any guns that are coming out they want to talk about tonight, or any other SHOT Show related topics, let me know, because that's what I'm going to try to dedicate tonight's show to, is pretty much purely SHOT Show topics, because tonight is the last podcast I'm going to have before I go to SHOT Show. Now, as usual, tonight's podcast is going to be at 7 p.m. on the West Coast. That would be 10 p.m. on the East Coast. Okay, I've got that on there. I really like it. You got to get a good high grip to get two good fingers on it, but it's really lining up with my fingers a lot better now, so I like that better. Next thing I'm going to do is change out these sights right here. I'm going to replace them with a hi-viz fiber-optic front sight for a little added visibility. First, got to tap out the little pin here that holds the front sight on, and then the front sight should break free and tap off here. And there, it popped right off. Never get into these things. I don't know what they make these things like they don't want anyone to possibly get into them. That includes the people who bought them. This doesn't need to be this difficult. Life is full of difficult things. This doesn't need to be one of them. As you can see right there is just a little post on the front that this will just set right down over. Now, as usual tonight, you can watch my podcast either on my YouTube channel or you can go over to gunchannels.com and watch it there live at 7 p.m. Pacific time, 10 p.m. Eastern time. And you can either email me topics you would like to see discussed or questions you'd like to have answered at shootingleftofcenter@gmail.com, or you can just put them in the live chat section of that video. I will try to get to as many of the topics as possible. As you can see there, those front sights are much nicer, and it was very easy to put on. So there you have a quick look at my updated Ruger LCR 327 Federal Magnum. I will have a range review coming up of this pretty soon, but until then, join me tonight live at 7 p.m. on the West Coast, 10 p.m. on the East Coast for our SHOT Show edition of the Shooting Left of Center podcast. You ain't even my real dad.